Greetings. I'm listening.
Great to meet you.
I've been expecting you.
For the good.
You come get the voodoo.
Hey there.
And you are.
Light be with you.
Hello and welcome to Control Alt WoW, the podcast for those of us who love video games and virtual reality. Today is Tuesday, March 18th, 2025, and this is episode 820 entitled Patch 7.2 is coming next week. I'm AprilPvd, and with me is Grand Nagus. How are you doing today, Grand Nagus?
I'm doing great. I'm really enjoying the content that we can do in Final Fantasy, and it's just relaxing to have all the possibilities to earn extra currency and do different stuff. So it's really nice. It's always fun to have that last month before patch, in my opinion.
Yeah. So how's everything going? Now, the title of our show is called the 7.2 patch, and this is for Final Fantasy 14.
This is, yep. Because we had the letter from the producer live last week Friday, and the patch date was announced to be March 25th. So this is like a week from today. So we have that magical 1 week left to finish everything up that we haven't done yet. Like most oftentimes, that's when you go and finish your PvP grind or get the last one or two items from the Mogul Tombstone event. But I'm going to go over that in my segment. So, and how have you been?
I've been really good. I've been experimenting with different games in VR, and I really figured out something that I want from VR is that I really am getting more into experiencing things and just being in a different place as opposed to a lot of fighting. Now, do you do a lot of fighting in Final Fantasy 14?
No. There is way less fighting than there is in WoW, for example. It's more of a storytelling. So you basically have kind of per quest you have a max of one. Maybe if it's a split encounter, you have two fights, but usually you can average about a fight per quest, and the quest is usually in multiple stages. So you can be between like have a quest last 10 or 20 minutes, depending on what you have to do. If you have to cover great distances and you're not able to fly, for example. So you have to run across the map. That can take
fight your way.
several minutes, and you still only have like one designated fight. But so not as in WoW, where you go and pick up a quest, and this quest that you pick up is designated to be go and kill the zebras to get their hoofs, and you have to kill 100 to get the 4 hoofs. And remember that in the Blasted Land? No, in what was it? Barons.
Barons,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, in Final Fantasy, you basically have I would say 90% drop rate. And you very, very rarely have more than 2, maybe 3 items you need to collect. There are a couple of early quests where you have to get 6, but that's like very, very rare. But usually, again, 2, 3, maybe 4 items, and with a 90% drop rate, you can do the math. It's nowhere near as much fighting as in WoW.
Oh, okay.
So it's more the storytelling that's prominent versus the fighting.
Right. And each quest moves along the story.
Yes, absolutely. So there's like one story arc where you have to basically at the end you unlock a fight, and to do that you go to a quest hub, and it's basically what you do is you collect food and drink for a feast at the beach. I'm not going to spoil too much more, and that takes you the better part of, I would say, 2 hours. If you do it properly, if you don't skip the cutscenes and whatnot. And the fighting there is, I would say, if you avoid the mobs you don't have to run into. If you like zigzag around the mobs like you do usually, you maybe fight 10 of them that you can't avoid or that you have to loot from. Roughly. So imagine playing WoW and fighting 10 mobs in 2 hours. That's not gonna happen. So yeah, and you get told a story in 4 parts because you interact with 5 people and one leads into another, so that's only one, but it's still 2 parts. So, and then you have the other 3 that are their own little story. And then at the end, you go and deliver all the wine is the big final thing. And then you sit down and have this big feast with all the people around, and then they tell you what they want to tell you, and then you go off and kill the big boss at the end of all that, which again it leads to the big boss fight at the end of that branch of the story. So yeah, a big general idea for Final Fantasy is we go somewhere, we have a problem that we need to solve. Let's go around and ask the people what they think about it, if they can help us. And then you gather the information and whatnot.
And it becomes a story.
And then it becomes a story, exactly. You get the background on it and how the local folk think about what you say you have to go and kill a boss, and you go and ask this first guy, and he says, yeah, well, she is the daughter of my uncle's mother, whatnot. And the next guy says, yeah, sure, but she's an evil witch. And the third guy says, yeah, I kind of like her, but, and then you find out that there's she outwardly she's been having issues because she has this dark past, but she's not really the person that everyone thought. So yeah, it's just totally made up by me, but there are like so many possible ways to tell this kind of story that I just outlined. So yeah, it's really. And then maybe you have to go in a snowy area. You have to go and fight fight some Yetis, because they have a something on them that you need to make a potion or whatnot to save a guy that just was hurt or whatnot. So it's not really something that not necessarily something that is too involved in the story. The fact that you have to fight something, it's really a different, way different game style of game that was used to with WoW. Pleasantly different, I must add. So yeah.
And now, how's your guild doing?
My free company, which is what it's called, they're doing really good. We are currently we are at let me see. Oh, okay. We are only 3 people online at the moment, but that's because it's the middle of the night in Australia.
Right.
So yeah. So at the moment I play on a OCE server. I jump back and forth depending upon what part of the patch cycle I'm in. I tend to start at the beginning with my main on the North American server, and once I'm done there, I go to my alt on OCE and do a little there, not as much, but some of the stuff I can do faster there because I've already done it on the North American server. So I can basically breeze through the content versus having to read all the speech bubbles because I already know the story.
Right.
And I just the only thing that I obviously have to do is the daily quests. but they usually take 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes per hub, and there are 4 hubs per day. So that's an hour. That's not too bad. And on the NA server, I only have 1 left of all of them. Everything else is done. And the next one that comes up, is being released in about 2 months. So I have until then to catch up on the dailies of my OCE character and do some other stuff there, because and then I'm doing my gardening, obviously, and my market board, my what WoW would call auction house shuffle.
Oh,
So yeah, I basically plant and harvest onions, special onions that you need for your chocobo, for your riding bird, which can be skilled and leveled. Maximum level is 20. And the first 10 levels are quote unquote free. You just level it by having it by your side when you fight. So as a companion, like a hunter pet. And once the chocobo reaches 10, you need to unlock each extra level by feeding it an onion. And 1 onion equals 1 level. And those onions, they're called Thavnarian onions, comes from the island of Thavnia, which is the Near Eastern continent of the realm of Eorzea. And so that Thavnarian onion you need to grow in your garden, in the player garden. Or there are very rarely, or there are very few quests, I think 2 quests throughout your main scenario quest where you can get onions as a reward. So that still leaves you 8 short to get your chocobo to max level. And those remaining 8 you need to buy on the market board or grow yourself. And I grow them myself. It's quite a lengthy process. And so you basically have to crossbreed certain seeds, and then you have to use them again, and then again crossbreed 1 more.
oh, that's
And then
interesting.
and then you get the Thavnarian onion seeds, and those you plant then. So it's and one set of from planting to harvest lasts between 3 and 5 days, real time. So the more rare a seed is, the longer it takes, and the more fragile it is. So you always need to take into account that you have to water it, and you can choose to fertilize the crop with a special, in this case, people use fish meal, which you also can either craft yourself or buy at a vendor.
I'm laughing because I know that there is certain things you can do for real life plants
Yeah.
that
Yep.
so that they're mirroring real life.
Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of neat.
Yep. Yep. So you can, or you have to tend your plants every 18 hours. If you don't, then they are going to get like a purple mist around them. And then you have like, I don't know, 15 or another 18 hours, depending upon the plant, to get there ASAP and tend to them. And every application of fertilizer grants, I think, a shortening of the growth period of 1 hour. So when you fertilize your plants, which you can only do once per hour, but then you have, as I said before, you have this it shortens it by 1 hour, but you have what is it? What is the term for it?
Germinating?
No. If you do something too often, the effect wears off, or it gets
It's not as effective.
Yeah, so you can only save so much, even if you diminishing return.
Oh
That's what
yeah,
it's called.
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you I think you can only shorten the growth period by 5 or 8 hours total over the duration of the entire planting growth period of, yeah, as I said, between 3 and 5 days, depending upon what seed is you use. So yeah, at the moment I'm working on the second set of seeds that I need. So it's the second crossbreeding I'm working on, and because I only have a small house on my on the OCE server, I can only have one garden patch. On my NA or in my NA house, that's a large house, so you can have 3, which means I can plant and harvest all 3 stages of the cycle at the same time. And here I can only do 1 at a time, so I have to cycle it around. The problem with that is that you are going to waste seeds, because if with your initial planting, and it gets a little complicated, but still,
Right.
with the crossbreeding, you start. It's a 3x3 eight slot patch because the center slot has a scarecrow in it in the middle. So it's a 3x3 8 slot patch. And you have you usually start in one corner. I usually start at the 4 o'clock hour and then go clockwise. And then go lower right hand corner. And then the first seed that you plant cannot be crossbred because the last one is not present, right? So if you start with lower right hand corner and then go to the middle, lower middle, and then lower left hand and then up, then you end in the middle right hand side. But that means that you still have to crossbreed the initially planted seed. So that means that you have to rip that up again and plant a new one. And then you have the second planted and the last one planted. That both crossbreed the very last one planted. So it's effectively you have at the initial round you plant 9 seeds where you only have 8 because you destroy one. So yeah, and that means that you always go with the one that is least valuable because that's a loss.
Yes.
Yeah. And it means that because you have to use special soil, topsoil, there are 3 different types of topsoil, all for different effects. And the one you use for crossbreeding is the one that you have to use for crossbreeding because that gives you a higher chance of success for crossbreeding. So that very first one that you plant, you don't use that crossbreeding topsoil. You just use the normal soil because it doesn't matter. It's going to be ripped up anyway. So you don't waste the couple of thousand gil that one of those topsoils cost either. So it's a little yeah, complicated. I don't want to say, but you need to keep those small important details in mind when you go out and start planting. And so once you set up the initial rotation, you can always go and harvest. I use a 4-4 method. Some people use 3-5 method, which is like 3 of one and 5 of the other seed. I use the 4 and 4 because that's easier for me. So you basically go and once you're done with the once your plants are ready for harvest, you only ever harvest one type of seed, then replant them, and then harvest the other, because you need to keep the crossbreeding intact. So, and that's why I said it's the method with the one patch per house, in this case always on a small, is the most wasteful, because whenever you decide to rotate the loadout and switch to the next set, you have to start with that initial wasted seed again. So you don't do that every time, but you have to do it eventually. And you have to do that 3 times. You have to do it with the initial first set, then the second set, and then you have to do it with the next set. And then after the third, that's when you plant the onions, which obviously don't require the crossbreeding topsoil, because it's just 8 onion seeds that are being planted and harvested eventually. So you just plant them, but they are the most fragile, so those you need to really keep an eye on. They are the most fragile plant in the entire game. So, yeah, that was a little fast introduction to gardening in Final
And
Fantasy.
this is near
14.
the garden is physically near your house?
Is in my garden, in my front
Oh, nice.
front lawn, my lawn in my garden. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. You have to buy the patch. It's the biggest patch out of 3 possible. You can buy smaller patches. They are cheaper, of course. I don't know how. I think they're like 3, 5, and 8 slots per patch in the size. But you have to buy the largest one, the one with the 8 slots, because that's the only one where you can do crossbreeding. So there's that. And then you wait. I can do the put a screenshot into the show notes, and then here we go.
Oh, okay.
Doing it live.
We're doing it live, folks. We're doing it live.
Here we go. Yeah, you can see the 8th one is behind the scarecrow in the middle.
Oh, nice.
So you can see the 3 by 3 with the scarecrow in the middle. So that makes it 8 slots.
And of course, the show notes can be seen at CtrlAltWow.com.
Exactly.
Oh, nice. The graphics are so beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, so that's and my little tools shelf on the upper left-hand corner. Can't really see it, but I really like that. It's an item that was added fairly recently. It's so perfect, and it was like I absolutely had to get it because it's just so nice to have this. I mean, obviously, you don't have to have it.
Right, but it's good to have it.
Oh, it's just pretty to have and to have the role play of it, where you have. Oh yeah, you see, I have my there. You can see it. You have
Oh, wow.
right.
Yes. It's beautiful. I love the little pots on the side. And,
Yep.
yeah. It's funny because I just recently planted some seedlings myself, getting ready for spring.
Yeah.
Now,
So
do you have any plants in your real life?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
I have I have a couple of orchids in my living room.
Oh, you have orchids?
Yeah,
Oh,
but they're
nice.
like flowers, not plants.
Right, right. Well, they are plants. All plants aren't flowers. All flowers are plants.
Yeah, but I was okay. I was thinking about like outdoor planted stuff, but I don't have that, so
I'm obsessed with plants, and I have plants inside and out. I actually have a couple of 3 feet, 4 feet high avocado plants. They don't have,
ooh,
they don't produce avocado. In fact, I don't even like avocados. I used to just buy them so I can stick the seeds in water and let them plant. And yeah, I have quite a few. I have a couple of trees and some coleus, and then I have plants outside too. That's why I love where I live, because I have a balcony that I can have plants on it. So it's nice to see your plants in Final Fantasy
yeah.
14.
I have a balcony too in real life, but I don't have plants on it.
Do you have at least chairs on it?
I do
Okay.
in the summertime, yeah, but not yet.
I have a couple of I have chairs out there now because the minute the sun comes out, Maja wants to run out there and sit on the chairs. In fact, I'm going to put a picture in the show notes of Maja sitting on the balcony. And but what's really weird is I have several neighbors who have nothing on their balcony, and they never use their balcony, and I'm like, I don't know, it's such a nice thing to have. All right, so what else is going on? So, did you talk about what is coming? Do you know what is coming in 7.2? Or you just...
I do know, but I tend to. I can
avoid?
talk about some generals. We can. I can say that we have. First of all, we have a 24-hour maintenance ahead of the patch. So from Monday to Tuesday, that's when you won't be able to play. Then it's Hatchling Day, which is the Easter event in game. That's kind of not in sight yet, since Easter is on the April the 20th, if memory serves. So that's quite a while. It's more than a month to go still, but since the event is usually, most events are usually 2 weeks in length, it depends upon when they are going to put it. If they are going to put it in the middle, which really doesn't which kind of work. If it's going to be from the 8th going on 2 weeks, then we should see the first information, or we should see the information coming out around the 1st of April.
Mm-hmm.
If it's going to be on the 15th, which in my opinion is more likely, then we should see it on the 8th, which is always going to be released a week in advance. The website is going to be put online. The special event website, that is, is going to be put online a week in advance to show the general artwork and the reward that we get, and where it is for people that don't know, for like new players, and what the quest is called and stuff like that. So it is going to be in Gridania again. That's where, if I remember correctly, that's where it usually is. So yeah, last year they changed it because they put Hatchling Tide and Little Lady State together because they were so close together because Easter was so early in the year. So and we only got one event, so we'll see what happens this year and when we're going to see it. Okay, my money is on the 15th. I would like to see it earlier though, but again, you never know. Since the 15th is a little late, if the event, aka Easter, happens on the 20th,
Right.
starting it on the 15th seems a little late. I would rather start it early and end it just after Easter Monday ends, or on Easter Monday, but which, yeah, it's a little difficult because it's so late this year, where it was so early last year, and it's like I think it shifted from being the earliest possible last year to almost the latest possible this year. It had that big shift because of the moon calendar.
Right. The timing, whatever.
Yeah. So it had that break, that shift happened like from last year to this year. So yeah, and then with regards to 7.2, we are going to have a new Hildebrand, which is a special comedic quest chain event that started, I think it even started before 2.0 came out. It was basically a set of funny quests where they tried to test the graphics engine, what it could do. And then it was so well received that they continued it. And every expansion except Shadowbringers has had a new chapter of Hildebrand and his adventures in it. That's going to happen. Then we have a new zone for like large outdoor content. On the battle side, much like we had with Boscia and much like we had with Eureka. Then we have a new foundation type zone, which is a crafters specific zone, and that is called Cosmic Exploration. You can level your professions there. So, and the requirements are you need to have completed Endwalker. And with the other outdoor zone, the battle zone, the requirement is you need to have, I would say, you need to have a 100 character level 100. I don't remember if they said you need to have finished Dawn Trail, but it would make sense that you need to have finished 7.0. But I can't guarantee that. Then we have obviously the MSQ main scenario quest, the main story gets a new chapter. We get a new trial, which is the single boss encounter, 8-man, in both the normal and the savage version. We get a new raid tier, a new raid wing, the second one out of 3. The first one was in 7.0. That was M1 through M4, and now we are going to see M5 through 8. If they're going to rename it because it's called something different, I'm not going to spoil. If they're going to call it C now, which is possible because the name that I'm not going to say would suggest that they might, but it would just rob the game of future abbreviation possibilities. So I would, in my opinion, it should be like M4, M5 through 8 to make it easier. Okay. So then we have an Unreal trial, which is basically an upgraded old trial. So imagine, let's go back to WoW and say that you have a fight like Onyxia that is old content, and now they are going to yoink it into max level and tune it fresh and let you have all the abilities that you have at max level versus tuning you down to the level that it's originally at, which they usually do. If you go into old content,
Right. Because that makes sense. Otherwise, you just steamroll it.
exactly. So now they have, for years now, they've had something called Unreal Trials, which is always for one patch cycle. They've had one of these trial fights upgraded to respective max level. And then for one patch cycle, you can fight it as if it was a proper max level fight. Technically is. It's just a fight that you know the mechanics of, because it doesn't change. It's just that the numbers have been tweaked, so you can use your more powerful abilities that you have now at max level. And you can still do the normal version, obviously, as well, because that's still there too. So you can pick and choose which one, and you get extra rewards for doing the Unreal trial, because why else would you do it? There's always got to be that reward. And then we are going to have a new front lines. I think, was it front lines? Can't remember if it was front lines or rival wings. One of the two, which is both PvP content. A map that has been deactivated for years now. I haven't seen it, and I've played since middle of 21. So it's been deactivated for quite a while, and they're bringing it back now. They've changed it a bit, but the general map is back in rotation now. So we can look forward to a little more variety in the PvP circuit.
Oh, nice.
And then we have some tuning happening, both on the PvE side and on the PvP side. Some abilities tuning. And we are going to see something totally new on the PvP side. In large content, PvP content, we are going to see a new feature, which is a special ability that you can, or multiple special abilities where you can pick and choose one out of, I think they said 3 per job. You can pick out of 3. You can choose one, and that gets put on a special button that you can use whenever, if it's like on a cooldown or whatnot, I don't know, but technically it's a extra button, and that you can choose, and you can switch it whenever you're back at base after you died. So you can choose between, you can switch it. It's like a big ability that's supposed to be quite powerful. So yeah, we'll see what that brings. And I think obviously we're going to see new gear
Right.
again. Both the tombstone gear from and the PvP gear, new PvP gear, new crafted gear. That's all going to. Those three are the main, and then the raid gear from the raid. So, and then they previewed a couple of mounts and a couple of minions, which were really cute. Some were themed around some of the content. There were at least two of the attire sets that I want, and there are two of the mounts that I would like to have. One I'm probably not going to get because I assume that is behind content I'm not going to ever play. So yeah, but that's that. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it from the recap.
Nice. It sounds like you had there's a lot going on, and
It was like a 3 hours plus event. So it was really something.
all right. So I did put a picture in the show notes of my avocado plant. Another plant I have that my sister gave me for my birthday in 2021, and my little dog. So if you want to take a look at controlwild.com. Yeah.
Nice.
All right, so my week began, well, one of the rough things that happened last week, or this past week, was MetaQuest is always updating. And a lot of times it's really good stuff. They update the pass through, they update the sound, they update different options you can do things with. And one of the things they did recently that was nice is that you could take pictures while you were casting. Because when I record a lot of my videos, I'm casting from the headset to my laptop. And when I cast, you couldn't take pictures before. So if I wanted to grab a screenshot of something, I couldn't do it. So they did a lot of improvements. But the latest one, version 774, did one particular thing where, and I guess they're doing it on purpose. They're looking more like Apple Vision Pro. You know how Apple Vision, I don't know if you've seen any of the videos of Apple Vision Pro, but one of the things was that the controls were all at the bottom of the screen. You used to be able to close a screen by clicking on the X up in the upper right-hand corner, like, you know, how laptops or most computer screens is either a button on the upper left or the upper right to close a window. Well, now they moved it down to the lower right. If you could see in the screenshot I put in the show notes, you'll see that there's now the buttons are down at the bottom, which is like the Apple Vision Pro where you look at it and then click it with your fingers. Of course, they did bring in hand tracking, which is nice, and you can do a lot of hand tracking, but I just prefer to use my controllers. One of the things that the version 74 did is it broke my HoloFit, which is the game that I use to ride on my elliptical. When I'm on the elliptical, as I'm riding through different spaces while I'm moving up and down, while I'm doing the elliptical, I move through the different maps that they have, and they have some really good maps. So I put a picture in the show notes of my elliptical and my cadence, and my elliptical has Bluetooth, but it's the old Bluetooth. So the headset, it's not the newer one, because this elliptical is like from 2015, but because it's as you can see, it's a Nordic Track gym quality. It actually came from a gym, so even though it's it's 10 years old, almost 10 years old, it's still sturdy because it was really meant to be used by like 100 people a day. So it's really,
Yeah.
If you look at the next picture, you'll see me riding through a map. It's Babylon, and you'll see me on the elliptical as I'm riding through the map. But I ended up having to remove the cadence, which, if you can look at the picture, it's stuck on the side of the flywheel, and it's linked to the headset. And I had to go through some hoops to get it resynced, but I did, and it was worth it. I did miss one day of training, but it was worth it. The other thing I did, now my setup, I have a laptop that I use exclusively for PC VR, and it's got 64 gigs of RAM. It's got a 1 terabyte hard drive. It's got a really fast graphics card, and it's plugged into an Ethernet port. So I have a cable that goes all the way around to where the router is on the other side of my living room. And so, but I also use, and like right now I'm using the iMac that I use almost exclusively for editing my podcasts. And so back in the day, in 2005, I've always had this setup. I always had an iMac for years and a PC of some sort. But I would use the same keyboard, and I would use a KVM switch, which is supposed to be keyboard, video, and mouse. But I only used the keyboard and mouse. And I just decided the other day to see if I could find a different KVM switch. One thing, this thing has a lot of cord. The old KVM switch had a lot of cords to it. But the neatest thing about this KVM switch is not only can I it's not a KVM. It's a USB switch. So the button on top lets me share it, but I'm using it for the keyboard and the mouse, and an external hard drive. So I can save files on the PC VR, like the videos, and then I'm able to see them on my iMac. So that worked out really well. But the thing that I really wanted to talk about is that in Legendary Tales, I haven't been playing much because one of my friends got the game and she said she got a PC. Well, it turns out you just can't get a PC and play PC VR. And I've been trying to walk her through the troubleshooting, but she hasn't been able to get it to she can play Legendary Tales, but it only lets her play offline. And I'm thinking it might be because her speed isn't fast enough. I haven't tried doing it wireless, with Wi-Fi, because it definitely needs, that's why I have the Ethernet, because the speeds are faster and I even have a really fast Wi-Fi. So I'm just glad that I got this laptop and that it's able to do that. And I'm really sorry that my friend wasn't able to play Legendary Tales with me. If anybody out there is doing PC VR and wants to share their setup and what they do, just send us a note at controlaltwow@gmail.com. Now, the next thing I want to talk about, because I've been doing so many different things. It's interesting because you do Final Fantasy 14. And it's a lot to it, but I jump around to different things. And I think I talked about this the last episode, that I do the Cosmetic Craze with a group called the United Zenithian Alliance. They've been doing it for, since Zenith started. And I picked up doing it during the last summer, as some people fell off doing different things. And of course, we've talked about the fact that Zenith is practically dying. They stopped updating things and stuff, but I'm still having fun in it. And I ended up I had 2 accounts. I don't know if I talked about this, but
Yes.
when Zenith first started, they had the Steam account was live first, and then the Meta headset account was live second. So I had neglected my Zenith account. And the crazy thing is I actually did make a guild, but it's all me. And I had to take my other headset, wear that, and swap them out really quickly to invite my own tunes to my guild. But because my Meta account was already up there and already had leveled up higher and had all the cosmetics, I've been running these events with my Steam account, and I've been getting some of the cosmetics. But I also brought out my ninja, because I didn't have a ninja on that account. And it was interesting because the ninja I had created right at the beginning of when they brought out ninjas. And right after they brought out ninjas, they changed the starting area. And of course, because they're not updating and there's problems, that the progression is not working perfectly. But I'm still having fun. I put a screenshot in the show notes of me, my taking my level 11 ninja to Outlaw Grove. And even though it took some time and it was nerve-wracking, I actually took down the boss in Outlaw Grove. And I'm not going to be able to do much with this account. She's not going to be able to go that far because nobody's doing a lot of the other dungeons and stuff. But it's still fun. But the one thing I've been dabbling with in VR or with my headset is AR. Now, are you familiar with the difference between AR and VR?
AR, I have AR on my phone, yeah, but it doesn't.
With the headset, there's augmented reality. Well, actually, there's 3 different things. There's augmented reality, there's mixed reality, and then there's virtual reality. I guess what I'm thinking of is more of mixed reality than augmented reality. But if you look at the picture in the show notes, you'll see of me. I'm doing Thrill of the Fight, which is one of my boxing games, and you can see that I'm in my living room. And I'm fighting, and I have a boxer in the living room with me. Mm-hmm. And it's really neat because I'm able to fight. The fights are hard. There's 3-minute bouts, and it's really interesting to see the way the fighter's in my living room. And if you look right behind him in the mirror, you can see me as well. And then I'm in the upper left-hand corner as well. So that's one of the things I've been doing with mixed reality. And I'm going to go into some more things that I'm doing in mixed reality. I have also been doing, and I'm going to skip over that one, the spaceship. There's 2 games that I bought that lets me turn my living room or my VR space into a spaceship. And I don't know if you can tell from the screenshots, but the way it works, there's 2 of them that I'm doing. One is called Austria, and it actually takes you to different planets in the solar system. It's kind of neat. You specify a wall, there's a control panel, and then as you take off you look out the window, and you're actually looking at all the special effects of you traveling to a planet. And then once you get into the orbit of a planet like Jupiter, you step into the teleporter and you go down, and you can use different these binoculars to look at different artifacts in the area. And it's actually kind of neat. The one complaint, and it's the same complaint with the other spaceship type game, is that you can still see some parts of the windows. So even though my one wall is all walled in and I can see the planet, I can still see out the window behind me. But most people don't have that big of a virtual reality area. The other game is more intense. It's called Starship Home, and this one, both of them come with a box that you open up and you set up. But this one comes with a box where you go into the box. Well, the premise is that you receive this shipment, you get a box from what's supposed to be an intergalactic FedEx. They do a really good job of this because, I'm wearing the headset and I'm looking, the box lands. I open the box and there's all these different pieces that you can set up on your wall to make it makes your house look like your VR space look like a spaceship. There's even a terrarium and a plant that you have to take care of, and then the guy who you find out that the box was delivered to the right address but the wrong planet, and he tells you how to he tells you how to get to his planet. But then once you get to his planet, he wants you to do some things for him and go to other planets, and it's really very, very well done. I'm trying to show how it looks, but it might not be that clear. But the wall in my apartment becomes a viewport. There's an airlock where things are delivered and I have to open it up, and there's a storage unit in the floor. So it's done really, really well. So that's the other thing I've been doing with mixed reality, those two games. I decided that I really like games that are experiences and that put me in a different place, as opposed to always, fighting something. There's nothing wrong with fighting, because I'm still doing fighting games and they're just as good. But it's nice to do experiences. Speaking of fighting, though, one of the other mixed reality things, and it's down at the bottom of my show notes. I'm going to move it around a little bit, but there's a picture of me and my boxing coach, and I'm wearing my boxing gloves. That's part of my exercise. I do an exercise program 3 times a week, and I do about an hour and a half. I start out with a game program called, and I don't know whether to call them games or applications or programs, but an application called FitXR, and I do a warm up with that and a little exercise with that, and then I do some weight training with the light sport, and I do boxing with this guy in light sport. And I love the mixed reality because I have a wall of mirrors, so I can see what I'm doing and I can see what the trainers are doing. The weightlifting, it works really well because I'm actually lifting my weights in my living room and following the guide standing in front of me. I've been in Medieval Dynasty, and I've been working on my settlement. I haven't gone back to doing the wood planking thing that I hurt myself with, but I've been chopping down a lot of trees. And one of the things I'm excited about is they are bringing in for the first time, they're bringing a new weapon. And they're going to bring in a crossbow. So I'm excited about that because I really like going out and hunting. I hunt the deer. Right now I've been trying to hunt a bunch of deers because if you hunt the male deers, they will sometimes randomly drop antlers. And then the antlers can be used to decorate different buildings in your settlement. And the last thing I'm going to talk about today is sail. Now, I really love sail. That's another one of the experiences that I really like. The Medieval Dynasty, going out, being on the farm, going into the woods and chopping woods, tracking down the deer, going into the mines to get the ore. So I'm really just transforming my apartment into another place. I've decided I'm not going to travel anymore because it's expensive and it's crazy out there, but I can bring a new environment to my home, and I'm very fortunate that I have the headset and I can do that. And then of course with the sail program, I love just taking my ship out. Now, of course, we're pirates, and it's basically a PvP game. Sometimes you can go out and either just go and have fun and nobody bothers you, or you can go and this is the challenging part, is that I can go out, and then when they come after me, I have a small ship that has fast sails and a fast hull, and if I get the wind just right, I can outrace most of the people that attack me. This week I did get killed a couple of times. I'm not that concerned about getting killed. I have once you've been playing for a while, you get more than enough gold to do. And the gold you use, you use it to buy the skulls to start events, buy potions to heal yourself while you're in an event, because you have there's a certain health level. It's 200, but if you get hit too many times and it goes down to under 200, you can die. So I usually keep health potions, and if you can quickly grab one out of your inventory and pour it on you or drink it, then you can bring your health back and you can survive some attacks, either from the PvP or from the mobs that you're fighting. Especially when you're doing those events. And mostly what I do in the game is I do the dailies. Now, the second type of currency is for the blue, and I'm going to put a screenshot in the show notes of my 2 outfits. Because again, with this game, like with Zenus, I have a Steam account and I have a Meta account. The Steam account is my PC VR account. And when you do your dailies, you can earn up to 150 blue coins a day. And then you can use those blue coins to change and buy new things for your costume. And you can buy colors for your ship, and different colors and different sails for your ship sails. And you can buy costumes. And you can buy different instruments to play and different color parrots or monkeys that you can have sitting on your shoulder, because you are obviously a pirate and you're going to have a monkey or a pirate. You can also buy skins for your blades and for your weapons. But one of the things, and I put a screenshot in the show notes, one of the things I find myself doing every time I log in, and I'm amazed at how many times I run into this, but there's always a level 1 person who is showing up and not going over to the closet and putting on clothes. There is a tutorial, and I think it does mention it, but it's most of the time when you're starting a new game, you kind of click through the tutorial. And so if you look, I'm showing some kid or some level 1 person to click on. Well, the thing is kind of confusing too. You have to click on legs to put on your boots. I don't know why they didn't put shoes or make it feet. You can put on boots or you can put on a peg leg. And then you have to click on shirt to put on a shirt. But for the most part, when you first load in, there's always 1 or 2 or more level 1s running around bare chested and with no shoes on. And I know it's just a game, but I just feel more comfortable, especially when they try to, they usually come up and say, "Can I join your crew?" And I'm like, "You don't even know what I'm doing." And it gets kind of complicated sometimes, because if you let someone well, they changed it. It used to be you could let someone join your crew, go out on and do stuff, and then they could click on the join crew button that was also a leave crew button. So they would press on the quit button and then kill you. Or what happened to me the other day was that somebody jumped on my ship from another ship, and I immediately began attacking them, and they ended up killing me. I'm not really good at PvP. I'm old. The young kids can move faster. It's fun, and it's more interesting when, there's a possibility of someone attacking you. Oh, plus there is the other thing that when you go to get loot, you get more loot on a server that's a public server. You can go to a private server, but it just feels kind of weird and dead when I'm on a private server. Plus, I don't get some of the fun things that happen. I had a person propose to me. He actually got down on his knees and he took a skull and put a diamond on top of it, and then of course I got the grandma comments. I just I wish there was a service where people who put their kids in VR would turn around and watch what their kids were doing and see how some of them are being a little bit outrageous. But, of course, the sale on Meta is free. So any free game that you're going to find on in VR, there are going to be a lot of kids in it. But I'm having a lot of fun. I'm back with the exercising. I'm loving the group that joined me on Zenith, and that we're still doing the cosmetic craze every 2 weeks on Arborroot, if every other Saturday if anybody wants to join us. And I'm loving VR. I'm having so much fun, and I feel like it has really made my life better. And coincidentally, today marks my third anniversary of my retirement. 3 years ago, I retired from the railroad. And there is always the fear from a lot of people that when they retire, that they will end up alone, bored, or just sitting on the couch watching TV. And I am really lucky that with VR, not only am I not bored, not only do I get to do a lot of interesting things, but I also get exercise from VR. And one other thing I wanted to talk about was something called Teledomica. And that is it's an interesting app that lets you scan in and make 3D objects in VR of things that you have in your life, and experience other people's VR scanning. So that's going to be exciting too. I'm going to take some of my special things that I might want to keep in my future and scan them in. And that's been my week, and I'm having a lot of fun. And
very nice, yeah.
I'm glad that we can get together and talk about our video game playing. Video games have come a long way. We're really lucky that we're still in it. The graphics that you show me on Final Fantasy XIV are just amazing, and I think we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I just bought a raincoat for my fishing outfit.
Oh, nice. All right, so thank you for listening to Control Alt WoW. Again, you can find our show notes at controlaltwow.com. And if you wanted to write us or join us on the show, you can write us at CTRLALT WOW@gmail.com. And we'll be back in 2 weeks.
Yes, write us.
Yes. I'm AprilPvd.
And this has been Grand Nagus. Rule of acquisition number 19. Satisfaction is not guaranteed. Bye, guys.
Hi, this is Vrishna for the noobs. I'm really evil. You've been Vrishna rolled. So let me get this straight. I pulled back a stump. It's the joy of the game. I love the game. It's just a lot of fun. Now, who's the Lich King? What are Frosties?